Hello and welcome to this Piney News update. It's August 3rd, 2017. And we have more, unfortunately, more plans for destruction on Long Island. This involves part of in Riverhead, and this involves Pine Barrens that I thought were part of the Stotsky Park. So Riverhead Ford apparently owns the property adjacent to Stotsky Park, which is this beautiful piney area. All right, it's like whatever few pines is left in that whole overdeveloped mishmash of things over there in Riverhead along 58. So Riverhead Ford is seeking permission to clear 187,000 square feet of woodland behind its Route 58 dealership in order to store cars and create an access road to Pulaski Street. All right, and this would be about this would be about 4.4 acres of woodland that would be destroyed if they get permission to do this. There is a hearing in Riverhead for this. Let's see when it says it's going to take place. It does not say when. Oh, here it is. There's going to be a public hearing scheduled for September 7th at 7 p.m. at Riverhead Town Hall. And I like the quotes from the planning board here. Planning Board Chairman Stan Carey asked if there was anything to be concerned about with the tree clearing, such as proximity to the Pine Barrens or other environmental sensitive areas. Environmental planner Jeff Seaman said there are no environmentally restricted conditions. But, you know, they are Pine Barrens. So, I mean, this is a Pine Barrens area. So let's take a look at the area in question right now. And, I mean, it's not a huge area, but it's just one more loss in Riverhead, and it's just astonishing. Okay, you're looking at an overview of the area here where Riverhead Ford wants to expand. So this is the current car dealership, owned by the same person, Riverhead Ford, Riverhead Buick GMC. Here's Lowe's. This used to be the old Suffolk Life building. And these woods right here, which I used to think were part of Stotsky Park, which is over here. This is Stotsky Park right over here, Stotsky Memorial Park right here. You see it here in the lower right corner. But the problem is this is not actually owned. This is not actually part of the park, this land. This is privately owned. And you can see the green here. This is all Pine Barrens in here. So what they want to do, what Riverhead Ford wants to do is they want to, I believe they own this bit of property right here, all this here. They want to knock all this down and expand their parking lot and put a driveway into Pulaski Street. So all their deliveries won't be using 58, they'll be using Pulaski Street. And I'm sure the people in this neighborhood are going to love trucks cutting down through their streets and stuff like that. I'm sure they're going to love that. But let's take a closer look at what we stand to lose. Well, before I do that, let me just jump over here to the tax map. So I'll show you. This is Riverhead Ford right here. They own all this. So this is Pulaski Street. You get an idea of who owns what here, just to show you on the property map here, that they own all of this, and it's not actually part of the park. All right, let's get back to this. So, we're going to go look at the street view here, and I'll show you, if it'll load, what'll happen here. Let's go here. All right, so I'll show you what we stand to lose here. And I have plenty of pictures of the area too, but I'll show you the street view. This is all beautiful Pine Barrens over here. All right, it's beautiful Pine Barrens over here. I do apologize. My computer is being very slow. I have no idea why, but it's just what it is. So this is just beautiful Pine Barrens. You can see nothing but beautiful pitch pines in here. If Riverhead Ford gets their way, and they most likely will, because Riverhead hates trees, all this is going to be knocked down. And they're literally going to knock down paradise and put up a parking lot. So you can see, you know, it's bad enough we have these, you know, these plans for the Pilgrim, which I talked about in the last update, which I'm heavily against. And now we have this. You know, we just don't get it here on Long Island. We shouldn't be knocking down any more Pine Barrens because we've lost so much of our Pine Barrens to begin with. We shouldn't be knocking down any more Pine Barrens. It's got to stop. There needs to be a moratorium on the destruction of any habitat that includes pitch pines as the dominant tree. There needs to be a moratorium. All right? And the other thing I want to keep you updated on here is the hills at Southampton. and they're really trying to stop that project. It's in Southampton. I'll give you some links to that as well. And they passed a law, Southampton passed a law earlier in July that has halted the use of the planned development district as a tool to allow this development to go through. So I'm really hoping that they can stop this project in East Quogue, because again, this is another area in the heart of the Pine Barrens. Development here should be completely out of the question. So let's go someplace where they do things right. Let's go someplace where they do things right. In New Jersey. And here we have another article here at land preserved in Manchester, Jackson, and Lacey. So in Ocean County, and they are always preserving land in Ocean County. They do like so much more than Suffolk County has ever done, all right? They have voted to purchase several tracts of land to preserve it as open space. One patch of land straddles Manchester and Jackson. The other is in the Bamber Lake section of Lacey. And the Manchester and Jackson property is 182 acres and is adjacent to 200 acres north of it that the county already owns. I think there's another section there. The Lacey properties, let's see what it says here. That's yeah. So this is all adding up to about 1,700 acres in that area, in the Lacey area that's been preserved. I'm not going to read the whole article because I don't want to make this too long of a video. But they show here a diagram of the areas that are being preserved. I have to say, Ocean County has just done an absolutely amazing job when it comes to land preservation. Something that Long Island, especially Suffolk, could really learn how to do properly, because they, we have so much less open space here, so much less pine barrens. So you think it would make the resources more precious, but it's totally the opposite. It seems it's totally the opposite. The other thing that I want to bring up to you is that the MTA is getting into the transportation side of things now. The MTA has scaled back express bus service now. Those express buses from the park and rides, they are only going to run once an hour now. Because the ridership is very low on them, so they're only running them once an hour. That's all that's going to run. Because again, low ridership on them. Most people are just opting to take the train because it's much faster. We don't really have. It takes much longer to take the bus. People just, unfortunately, I'd like to see express buses work on Long Island, but unfortunately, because of the traffic, it's just so bad, and we don't have dedicated bus lanes like they do in New Jersey. It's just not as much of an attractive option. So the MTA has scaled that back down, so it's only hourly now out of the park and rides at Uniondale. I'm trying to remember all of them. Uniondale, Seaford, Melville. I think that's all of them. I'm leaving one out. Maybe Valley Stream. I think that might be it, but that's going to be it. And the ferry between Long Island City and the free ferry between Long Island City and Manhattan also. The ferry will still run, but it will no longer be free for our Long Island Railroad commuters. And people just aren't taking that, I guess, because they find it much easier just to hop on the 7 train. It's probably a much faster way of getting across to the city. So that's why that is happening. As far as buses go, we have things about Suffolk County. I'm not going to say where, but I've heard from a driver that they have retired some Orion Next Gens already. 1012 and 1013 have been retired from Sunrise. They used to run out on the S92, so they were being towed, and and also a lot of the Gilligs are also gone. The 5,000 Gilligs are being gotten rid of, and this is because the Excelsiors, the XDE, these are hybrids, XD35s and XD40s have come in. So they're replacing all the Orion 5s. They're probably all gone, and a lot of the Gilligs are gone. And I've also heard that they are actually looking at putting mini buses, like what Nassau did on some of the lighter ridership routes. In Suffolk, I know, tried that with the 7A. They're doing that with the 7A. They're doing that with some other routes. Well, they're going to expand that now to other routes. So that's what's going on in Suffolk County. But if it's more efficient for them to use a smaller bus, then it's better than just getting rid of the route entirely. At least there's something running on that. So I think that's pretty good. So I think that just about covers everything. I don't want to make this too long. Do check out my videos. I was in New Jersey, and on my other channel, don't forget I have another channel called Pine Power NJ, where I do Pine Barrens. It's all the New Jersey-based stuff is on there. So you'll see New Jersey Pine Barrens videos in there. Check it out. I don't have commenting enabled on that, but you can just in there sit there and enjoy the nature. You know, that's all that's on there. And if I have to leave Long Island, that will probably wind up being my main channel. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, but unfortunately, just to touch on my apartment search, it's getting nowhere. And I had a recent encounter with discrimination, calling a listing, and they actually told me, we don't accept programs, we don't accept sections. You know, they told me that right on. I'm like, that's discrimination. I'm looking at the law in New York and seeing if I can take them to court over it. But this is what goes on in all the decent neighborhoods on Long Island. They discriminate against us. So time's running out, trapped in a town that's going down the tubes. And if I can't, I really don't want to leave Long Island. I love Long Island. But if I can't find some place safe that I can live on Long Island where I'm happy, then it's time to look elsewhere, you know. And I think I probably would be happy in a place like Tom's River. But it's certainly not home. Long Island is my home, but wish me luck on this. This discrimination it's just bullshit. I was researching a lot about it. You can look at some of the articles. I don't really do too many. I don't want to make this a subject, but I guess it has to come up because it's such a relevant issue in my life. Some of the articles about discrimination against Section 8, which is not what my program is, but you know, it's similar type of discrimination. Most discriminate, and in New York, it seems there's not much done. New Jersey's done much more for people there. So people, I think, have more rights in New Jersey than here. Now I know that they can discriminate, you know, and even if you know, it all depends on how many units. But if the property owner owns a certain amount of units and they're discriminating, it's against the law. But if they own just a few, they can get away with it in New York. So apparently they can get away with it if it's just a few. But it seems that our state attorney general seems more interested in protecting illegals from deportation than disabled citizens in his own state. So it's pretty shameful, really. All right, I don't want to go there. I really don't, but I guess I have to sometimes, right? But anyway, that's it. You know, wish me luck in this situation here, you know. So until the next time, I don't know when the next update will be. Depends on when the next news happens. All right, but that is what I have for you today. Take it easy.